Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome to the Slieve Donard Resort and Spa here in Newcastle in County Down in Northern Ireland. I'm here for the 2016 Classic Car Show, which is on inside in the function room of the hotel. So let's go inside now and see what fabulous classics have arrived here this year. I'm joined here again this year by Bill Forsyth, who's going to take you on a tour of the cars that have arrived here this year. So Bill, good to see you again.
Yes, indeed, and you're very welcome to this 2016 Indoor Classic Car Show. So allow me to take you around the floor and see the new exhibits that we have for this year's show. So here we are. I think we should start at the beginning, as they say. And we'll start with this absolutely super Triumph TR4 1963. So the British Racing green colour, absolutely gorgeous car. And sitting beside it, actually, to our right over here, a Volkswagen minibus, a T2 minibus. It's a left-hand drive, albeit, but it's a beautiful wagon indeed. In great order. And then of course we have a fresh vehicle here. We have an Aston Martin, and it's a DB7 in dark blue colour. It will be one of our fresh cars here this year in terms of being young, however a classic car in its own right. And of course sitting behind that we would have a Morgan. Now
Fabulous colour, yeah.
Again, a lovely colour of a Morgan, yes. A 2009 Morgan, and we're thinking here 2009, 2001, we're getting a bit fresh, but these are classic cars. We will get to the older stuff as we walk down, but that Morgan is a V8. It's called a Morgan Aero 8, and it has the BMW V8 engine in it. Super car, beautiful car indeed, absolutely beautiful. And of course, just beside that, let's jump across to another unique vehicle. In fact, not many of these left. A Ford Corsair from the mid-60s. A very unusual car from Ford. Almost a Cortina, but not a Cortina. Indeed, a very unusual car.
Isn't the Cortina 50 years this year?
50 years of the Cortina this year, yes. That's the Mark II Cortina, 50 years of that.
There is an event, if I recall, happening in Athlone in County Westmeath.
There is indeed a large collection of Fords have all been invited, and there will be a lot of Fords from across the water and from the north, all assembling at Athlone to this Mark II Cortina 50 years celebration. Mm-hmm. Now, if I could just move across here to the other side of this Morgan, and we have a Sierra Sapphire Cosworth.
Very nice.
From 1988, an absolutely stunning car. Again, not many of these left. And this is in a beautiful blue colour.
This car could be worth about £40,000.
That car could be worth £40,000, even more if it was a four-wheel drive. It was even more. This is a two-wheel drive version, but it's still a very valuable car in its own right, indeed.
Very collectible.
And just across from this Triumph TR4, we have a lovely Ford Popular, beautiful Ford Popular. That's from 1959, and the paintwork's super, absolutely super on that car. Sometimes we have had a Ford Popular in that condition. Mm-hmm. A Rolls-Royce 20. Again, prestige vehicle, absolutely prestige.
Absolutely fabulous.
Now, can I just bring you down to this Austin 14 here, because what we have here is a 1936 Austin 14 six-cylinder, but it's a very, very unusual car in that it was built and bought for royalty. and in fact it was at the time of coronation in Prince Arthur's time. It was built and supplied with cloth interior, which was unusual because everything had leather. But this one, because it was for royalty, of course, you couldn't have them sitting on cold seats and they'll be sliding about. So they wanted the vehicle built with a cloth interior. But of course the chauffeur had to have leather to sit on, but otherwise it would wear out. So the chauffeur had to sit on the leather and the passengers had to sit on the warm seat. So there's a bit of history with this car. There's a bit of history with this car. And again, a lovely car. A lovely car.
What year was that, Bill?
That was 1936. 1936. These vehicles would have been built from 37, but this particular one was built it has been built just before they were launched. This particular one was built with all that special trim and handle in the front of the car to help folk out and what have you. So it's not just your ordinary Austin 14. Now, coming back to Ford, we have a beautifully restored RS 1600i in ermine white. It's white. I think it's ermine white. So that car, again, very valuable. Absolutely very valuable. It would be difficult to price that car, but it'd probably be in the region of maybe 12,000, £13,000. And of course the car that sits beside it, the Mark 1 Mexico. Again, it's going to be in around £18,000 today.
Yeah.
And that is a nice example of it, a very nice example of it. If we look at our vehicles on this side of the ballroom, we try and keep the pre-war vehicles on this side or vehicles of special interest. And there you have a Maserati Cowley from 1928. A Maserati Cowley, again in lovely condition, absolutely lovely condition. And as you can see, it's for sale. If anyone wants to have a go at that, that's the car that is for sale. Now the car that sits beside this Maserati Cowley, the car that sits beside it is a Triumph. And again, it's a very special Triumph. It's called a Triumph Roadster Southern Cross. And these cars would have been used for competition use. And as you can see, this one's being restored sympathetically by having new wings put on it, and the wings are not painted yet, but there's a lot of work goes into that, and it takes a good man to produce wings and front panels and what have you in this. So we were glad to have that to let you see how it's done before it receives paint. Now, we'll move on up the floor a bit, and as you can see, a Sunbeam Rapier. Again, a very unusual car. This two-tone blue. Again, the Rapier, there's not that many Rapiers about. Rapiers are scarce. And sometimes unavailability of parts can be a problem when you're restoring such as a Rapier. Whereas if you're restoring a Ford, well, you'll get all the bits that you want for it, or at least most of them anyway. Now, if I could just bring you around to this Alfa Romeo here. Now, this Alfa Romeo was brought to us by an enthusiast who has a collection of vehicles. And we were instructed not to clean this vehicle. This is, again, a competition vehicle that would be used as opposed to have a cover over it and put to bed very comfortably every night like the rest of them. This vehicle here would be a very usable vehicle. Now, you might look at it and think, well, okay, it's nice, but it's maybe not the wow factor. But this would be almost the most valuable car in the show.
Yeah.
Yes, because of its title and because of its uniqueness. It's 1932 and a very special engine in that car, very special engine, great engineering. So That car, it would be very fast. It's a twin cam, as you can see, so it would be very fast. And of course, a Vauxhall 12. A Vauxhall 12. Again, another very unusual car. We would be doing well to find another Vauxhall 12 if we wanted one for next year. It would be difficult to find one.
Right.
So we're very pleased to have that one this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we have here is a Maserati. This green vehicle is a Maserati, and it's a very unusual Maserati Merrick SS. And again, back in time, I hadn't seen a Maserati Merrick until this one. I had seen in magazines, but I'd never seen one in real life, so we were lucky to find that one.
Very rare in this country.
It's a very rare car in this country indeed, a very rare car. I think we'll move around to the front of the stage here, where we always have a very special vehicle. We keep this space for special vehicles. And here we have a 1913 Rolls-Royce chassis, engine, gearbox and differential. And it's in the making. So you see it here being restored mechanically, and then next year maybe you'll see it sitting here with the body on it. But the engineering in this car is absolutely unreal. All hand built, and as you can see, it's ready for its body. And a beautiful car indeed. So I think we'll move across to the far side here, where you'll see a Capri as you go by there, a Capri Laser. We always like to have a Capri here if we can find one, and that's the Capri Laser, 2 litre.
I think you had a 2.8 last year, Bill.
We had a 280 Brooklands last year. Yes, we had a 280, a 2.8, a 280 Brooklands. Mm-hmm. And again, it's a very valuable car. Mm-hmm. So now, let me speak about a very special car that I found for the show, and that is a Renault Dauphine Gordini.
Right.
And here it is in blue colour. Now, a Gordini would have been the sporty car to have if you wanted around a Dauphine, you wanted the Gordini. And this is the Gordini. And it is an absolutely super condition. Beautiful, beautiful car from 1964. And the gentleman that owned this car has a collection of Renaults. But this one had to come to this show. I thought to myself, this is the car for us here. It's very unique, very odd. And then we have a 65 Hillman Minx, which was a very popular car in its day. A very popular car. Next to the Hillman Minx, you will see a genuine Volkswagen Beetle. This Beetle has not been restored. As you will see as we go around here, it actually had the paint worn off, where the driver would have had his arm out the window and the paint is actually worn through. But the owner is not touching that, he's leaving that as it is, so that the car is just as it is. A beautiful car from 1959, a very early Beetle. Some unusual colours when you look at these cars,
yes.
You know. But they were period colours at the time, and you know, some of these colours are actually coming back in the new modern car. So here we have a 1987 Volkswagen Golf GTI convertible. Again, a very desirable car, and very difficult to find one in this condition. The condition of this one's just as you would like it. You wouldn't want it any other way. And nice wheels on it. Mm-hmm. And moving on up, I think we should maybe take a quick look at this Mark II Escort rally car. Just built, hasn't seen a rally yet, so it's just built. Everything about it's just absolutely brand new. And now the price of that would be a different story. the price of that could be 60, 70,000 pounds worth.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work and a lot of money goes into that. So that's the Mark II Escort rally car. Now going on to BMC motor again, BMC brought out an Austin 1300, and then they stuck a shirt and tie on it, and it became a Vanden Plas Princess. So Austin 1300 Vanden Plas, hence the big grille on the front of it, almost like a Rolls-Royce, a small Rolls-Royce. This car is completely original. It came from Scotland, and it has never been painted or tidied or anything else. It's just as it is, and the miles are very low. There was an elderly lady owned that car before it came to this country, and it had been dry stored, obviously. A beautiful car with leather trim, armrests, walnut dash, special hubcaps, special wheels. Everything about the car just super beautiful. We're looking at a 1967 Morris Minor convertible, and it is a genuine convertible. You have to watch for Morris Minors because there are a few convertibles around that are not genuine convertibles. They've been made into convertibles. This one, the real McCoy, a genuine convertible, and a beautiful car indeed, absolutely beautiful. Again, owned by a local enthusiast. In fact, all the cars in here are owned by local enthusiasts. They're all not too far away. And
1967.
1967, yes, 1967. And beside that, we have a black four-door Morris Minor, from 1961. And you would just think that Morris Minor was just off the assembly line. It just looks as though it's just like brand new.
Immaculate.
Absolutely immaculate. But then as we move past the Minor, then we come to a very special Ford Anglia. Everybody has heard of a Ford Anglia.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Ford Anglias. But a Ford Anglia convertible, where would you find one? The Classic Car Show in Newcastle. Where else? And here we have this. This would be ermine white and red. And it's a Ford Anglia convertible from 1968. And it is as clean underneath as it is on the top. As I said to someone yesterday at the show, if you were wearing a white shirt and you rolled underneath it and come out the far side, the white shirt would still be a white shirt. So that's how clean the vehicle is underneath.
Bill, I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
No, they're quite unusual. There might be another one across the water, maybe.
Honestly,
but
I don't think I've ever seen one in my life.
Beautiful car,
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Faultless, faultless. And still sticking with Ford, Mark II Escort, 1600 Ghia. Again, a very popular car on its day. That's from 1980. A beautiful colour with the vinyl roof. Vinyl roofs were very popular at that time. And then back to Anglia again, another white one, but in rally form. So we have a bubble arched Ford Anglia, and again 1966, nicely prepared, and that would whet a lot of appetites in here. Ford Anglia.
And we have an E-Type Jag here, Bill.
Yes, indeed, it's a V12. It's a V12 E-Type Jag, 1971, which would make it a Series 3. A beautiful car in red. Again, a lot of money spent on that car to make it as it is, but beautifully restored, and deserves to be up here in the front line. So I think we'll just walk ourselves across to what we would call the top shelf. The top shelf, it really is the top table area for a bride, but I call it the shelf. And over here we have a selection of short cars. Obviously the shelf will only accommodate short cars. So first car we see on the shelf here is an Austin A35. So an Austin A35 from 1956 in a lovely blue colour, and as you can see, not a very big car. That's from again, a local enthusiast who helps us out with the show. And a beautiful car. Next to that we have what I would really like to have is a minivan. So if there's anybody out there has a minivan that wants to sell it, I would like to have it. Minivans are very difficult to find. You will find it. There might be nettles growing up through it, but you will find it. A van is a very much sought after vehicle, and they're getting more and more difficult to find. So again, a local registration, and it's nice to have the vehicles not always coming from the mainland. We like to see them from our own country here, and that is a very prime example of just a perfect van, absolutely perfect. And next to that, of course, we have Fiat. We're in Italy now, and this brightly coloured Fiat, would you believe, when you would look at it, you would think, well, that'll not be expensive. That's only a little toy. That you'll be looking at £9,000 when you look at that little car. So it's not cheap, but again, they're very much sought after, and they can, of course, be very rotten, but not a big car to store, not a big car to restore either. And next to that, my other passion, a mini Pic-Up. I'm a bit greedy. I want the van and the Pic-Up. This particular Pic-Up is in damask red, and a beautiful, beautiful Pic-Up. One of the last, 1983. Just as you can see, the van and the Pic-Up, they were all built from the Mark I shell. So every van and every Pic-Up has the door hinges on the outside. They never became a Mark II or a Mark III. They have the sliding windows, and they have the hinges on the outside of the door. And that's what makes a proper van or a Pic-Up. And as you can see, it's complemented by small 10-inch mini light wheels. And it doesn't do it any harm. It's lovely, absolutely lovely. Now we're back to Fiat again, only this time we're on a Fiat 850. A Fiat 850, which came after the small 500. It's a little bit longer, as you can see, a little bit more room. Still not much more power, mind you. Still light on power, but it was built for a purpose, and it served that purpose in Italy, flying around the small villages and small streets. This car has been restored, and it's restored, just as it should be. The paintwork is amazing, and underneath it is amazing as well. And then, of course, I have to go back to my passion again. A Mini Cooper S Works Rally car. This is a replica. It's not the Works Rally car, but it's a replica. We did have the proper Works Rally car on the stage 2 years ago, and this gentleman that brought this one has built it to perfection. It could nearly pass as the Works Rally car, but it is a replica. But I mean, look at it. It's just ready for a competition. But would nearly be a sin to do that with it.
And you had a four-wheel drive Mini here last year, Bill.
We had a four-wheel drive, which was a very unusual machine. It was a four-wheel drive Mini Clubman, actually, built by British Leyland, not by BMC, and it was on the stage. And it was a rare machine.
Very rare, yeah.
A very rare machine. Now, we're still in the rally scene here. We're still going to stay in the rally scene as we move into a Hillman imp. I think these wee Hillman imps are just lovely. Again, you see the row of spotlights in the front of it, and it's 1966 Hillman imp. There were a lot of imps made, imp Californias and imp Sports and imp Supers, and there was a lot of imps made. This is just the normal Hillman imp. It's not the coupe style, but again, it's got the period cosmic wheels on it, and the spotlights, the period spotlights on it, and looks pretty well. It's lovely, absolutely lovely. And then we have here a more standard Mini, if you like. It's a Mini that a young chap has taken and put these wheels on it. He's put the wheel arches on it, He has put a different mesh grille on it. He has debumpered it. He has put a couple of decent seats in it, 2 nice mirrors on it. And look at what you can do with an ordinary Mini. That's just a Mini 1000. That's just a 1968 Mini 1000. And you can see the difference now that I talk about the hinges. There are no hinges on the outside of that door, and the windows are wind up. They're wind up windows, not sliding windows. But it's amazing what you can make a Mini look like. That Mini didn't look like that when it left the factory, and now it's very usable. Sitting beside that, we're stepping down now, or stepping back, should I say, to 1939. 37 actually, is 37, yes, 37 Maserati Tour, a Maserati Tour. And as you can see, what makes that little car unique, we would call that a suicidal door. The door opens the incorrect way, where the hinges are not at the front of the door, they're actually at the back of the door. But that was the way it was. And that is a beautiful car, again, nicely restored. Nicely restored. Now, just let me take you to a very unusual exhibit that we have. A very unusual exhibit that I found from a colleague of mine. And we always have a tractor at the show. And yes, we have a tractor this year. And look at this tractor. You look at this tractor and you think, why? What's the double wheels all about? And what's the mud guards all about? And what's the big bumper at the front for? And what have you? But this tractor is a Ferguson tractor. It's a Massey Ferguson diesel tractor. It gets the double wheels in the back and the mud guards in the front because it was made and built specially for the RAF to pull aircraft out of hangars, probably in wartime. And the front bumper would have been probably used for pushing cargo around the tarmac. And you would not believe the size of the aircraft that this tractor would have to pull out, and it does it comfortably. And I have seen that done. I have seen that done because it has been to the Aviation Society down in Hillsborough here, and they have actually pulled the Buccaneer aircraft out with this tractor. So I thought, we'll exhibit that. We'll exhibit that. And
what year did you say this was, Bill?
That tractor would be 1955. 55, yes, 1955. 1955. So, unusual, very unusual. And I suppose we should maybe go and have a look and see what's on the stage.
Yeah.
We always have something interesting on the stage, and in fact, what we have on the stage here is a Renault Formula 2-litre putting out about 260 brake horsepower racing car. And that is from Mr. Watson from Lisburn. And he has 2 bikes, two racing bikes, one on either side. The far bike, the one at the far side with the orange wheels, that bike is a 600cc. It's a 600cc bike, and in fact is ridden by Patricia Fernandez from the States, from the United States of America. She's the fastest woman on a 600cc bike, that bike, at the Ulster Grand Prix here at Dundrod. So that's a big achievement. A big achievement. So that's what we have to show here at this Slieve Donard Hotel in Newcastle this weekend. That's what we have to show. You've seen a good highlight of what we have. We've been doing that for 22 years. We do not repeat the vehicles.
So all the cars here this year won't be here next year?
They will not be here next. No, they will not be here next year. And it's all for cancer research, of course. That's the whole purpose of doing it. And the most comfortable dry show that you'll ever attend.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to come along, I'm sure they will enjoy it and they'll be made very welcome.
And it's open again tomorrow, Bill, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It is indeed, yes. Yes, we're open tomorrow again. So we're open till 10 o'clock tonight. So everybody seems to enjoy it every year. We had thought many times of maybe stopping and maybe giving it a break, but apparently we're not allowed to do that. The enthusiasts say no. So we're, as long as we can find the cars, and we enjoy looking for the cars, and we have found some new collectors. So I think we should be able to go for a few years yet.
Yeah.
A few years yet.
That's great. Thank you very much for that, Bill.
Okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm joined here now by Lyle Freeman, who's going to show you some of the parts here he's selling today.
Yes, Stavros, we have a wide range of parts here for sale today. Classic car parts from the 1940s onwards. Today, Stavros, we have points, plugs, we have a variation of Lucas lamps, we have really everything really. Switches, Lucas switches and all. These will be all for sale here today and tomorrow at Slieve Donard. So we have bulbs, array of complete lamps. So we have, and that's really some of the traction in the car stuff. And moving on, I have a big array of antiques and all. We have a stag's head here for sale. We have the bellows, 1930s, blacksmith's bellows. A great Aladdin pink paraffin jar here, light new. A complete array of antiques, medals, coins, some jewellery, accordion. And you
What
see,
year would that accordion be, Lyle?
the accordion is a German one. I would reckon it's about 1930s. We have clocks, old musket over in the corner. So we have a great selection of stuff for everyone. Some military badges, great array of military badges. Milk bottles, which is a big collectible thing at the minute. And we have a petrol pump globe, which is very rare. So there's a great range of stuff for everyone at the Slieve Donard here, and it's all going to a good cause. It's for Action Cancer, and I hope you all come and support it.
Thank you very much, Lyle.
Thank you, Stavros.
Thank you. And that's all I have time for you today here from the Classic Car Show at the Slieve Donard Resort and Spa in Newcastle, County Down. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed looking around that very nice selection of cars here today. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon. Cheers.